Hi all. Right, back to enemy action Ardennes, allied solo. Been away for a couple of days, had a couple of friends over yesterday. Mentioned to you before about the possibility of trying to move the board, move the map with Plexi. But then I did realise the safer plan was to just move the whole table and keep it on the table. So I did do that and just switch the tables across. And we played some Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion last night. It was pretty cool. I do have the full Gloomhaven, but there's a bit more to setting all that up. So I just got that the sort of smaller version of it, and yeah, it's pretty good. Anyway, that's not what you're here for. It's going to be a German impulse next. Had a couple of comments for Martin regarding the tiebreaker. I think it was a tiebreaker for the reinforced battle. Oh, try to remember where we were at. Yes, it was here, wasn't it? When we had a reinforced battle on defence, and I couldn't find any, and it only talked about when you're attacking, all the tiebreakers involved. He's come back saying that he thinks the last resort tiebreakers and addenda should be used for this situation. That says to use the lowest selective number, then lowest core number, which incidentally is also how it's solved in the German Soul. So I don't know if he means, I didn't want to go and get a German Soul rule book out or look it up. So I don't know if he means that it's explained properly in the German Soul for a defensive reinforced battle, or if he means that you use the addenda. I'm assuming that's what he means, so I'm assuming it must be written properly within the German Soul. And the addenda is just to kind of cover for the erratas, just to cover for the allied solo side of it. But it does seem to have been omitted from within the rules. But yeah, we followed the guidelines that he thought initially, and we selected the lowest selector number, so all that went well. Also made a comment regarding, perhaps not the right forum, he said, but I had a brief look in the rules and couldn't find anything about the relationship between detachments and roadblocks. Can one be placed in the same hex as the other? Well, there you go. I'm not quite sure if that I had come across that, and that's what's brought that up. I know we got detachments. Had a couple of concerns. Was it possibly this detachment being placed adjacent to the roadblock? I wasn't 100%. Couldn't find anything. And also we advanced. This is a slightly different thing, but we advanced after combat and ended adjacent to that roadblock. However, I don't think the things have been shown yet. I don't think I've uploaded that yet. So maybe there's comments to be made on that. I don't think there's a problem with two of them. As for the detachment being placed in the roadblock or vice versa, yeah, you kind of would have thought a roadblock wouldn't be allowed to be placed in a detachment. You know what? I was going to go and look it up there, but he's obviously looked this up and found it a bit of a not found the answer. So something to think about. If it comes up, we'll look more into that, I suppose. Okay. Yeah, it also mentioned that he was playing along himself, and he was on the 19th as well, and he was at 23 points. Germans were at 23 victory points, so that made me feel a bit better because I'm at 24, so I'm only one worse off than him. But I do think the 19th and the 20th has got to go kind, and it doesn't feel like it started well with the 47th, although that's the 247th cards away and the 5th Panzer Army card away. But what they've managed to do just with that 47th card, really, because the 5th Panzer Army card really only brought them a couple more chip pools, I think. However, and a couple of things to say regarding the attack there. That was a bit of a massacre. I managed to count up A3 for the hits on the Germans, and it was clearly A4. I kept looking at it and saying, counting up, and it was like, it was definitely A4 rather than A3. But we had D9 or something ridiculous. So there was no hits going to the Germans. There was plenty of unfulfilled hits, even if they were at A4, and they had the assault coordination. So yeah, that wasn't happening. There was also a movement I made wrong, which I'm going to try and put not comments, because I've actually uploaded the video, so I'll maybe just add them at the YouTube comments at the beginning. When I moved, it was a unit that was adjacent to Bastogne. He ended up in Houghton, the 2nd Panzer unit there. And I done one of the usual blunders that you tend to make from time to time. He was here, and I moved them, counting this as one movement, whereas he's clearly breaking zone of control. So easy done that. I think we all do it from time to time. Fortunately, there was no difference in the end result, because he would have went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ending his normal movement there, and then extended it 1, 2, 3, 4 into Houghton anyway. So it didn't make any difference. Let's say I'll add a wee comment in the beginning of the YouTube video for that. Okay, that's 7 minutes gone, Grant. You've done nothing. You act about random things. Some of them were relevant. Okay. Right, let's get a German impulse along. We've got a wee bit of time, so let's see what we get. Okay. Oh, more 47th. Goody. So no. What's that? That's a second Panzer and a Lehr. Oh, jings. Yeah, we don't want them going again, do we? Fortunately, there's no primary card, but this has got the bigger command value. The problem is the 85th, are they going to do anything? Are they going to need this assault coordination? Kind of hope they do. Alright, having a glance, it's off camera, I know, but the unit that they're surrounding is out of supply, which might mean they might go and remember assault coordination does get played, even though it doesn't bring other units in, because it reduces their hits. So keep my fingers crossed for that one. But right, it's not as usual jumping ahead. So this is going to be the primary, and this will be the support card. Is there an event? No, there's no event. Okay, right, let's move on. Okay, so 85th Corps, we're going to activate all the units. There's no robots adjacent. Their army objective marker is still out of range of approximate German unit or within 2 of a German unit. So not going to move that. So we're going to move the units. Oh, I'm forgetting. I was thinking this was the core movement. It's not, is it? It's the 80th Corps that do the core movement. So this is normal movement. Okay. Right, and they're all round about this now out of supply, allied unit. So it's in a bit of a worse state. Okay, let me have a look, see if there's going to be any movement. Okay, I've got it right down to movement methods 10 to 13. This would be the first consideration, but he can't move. He can't move via arrows. He can't get closer to his army objective, which is down that way. He can't infiltrate. He's just on his own, and he's already adjacent to an allied unit. So next one is this guy. Right, he can actually move via arrows, so he's going to move away for this unit, which I was feeling a little bit. That it was maybe a little bit strange, but I think we've done this before. So his primary arrow is that way. He can't do that, but he could do a second arrow, and he could go 1, 2, breaking zone of control. 3 into his primary there. Now, it looks like a bit of a backwards move, but then he would be able to then extend it it's another 2, isn't it? So he would then go 1, 2, and end up here. I mean, none of that's moving closer to his army objective, but that's not really the situation, is it? Yeah, I can't see anything. He's not breaking a restriction. This is not a VP town, so that would be the only one. That was one I think I mentioned recently that I might have been not quite considering. Do not move a unit starting adjacent to a VP hex occupied by allied units with strength 5 or less, unless moving to another hex adjacent to the same VP hex. Well, this isn't a VP town, so if it was, that would stop him. But he's not making this unit unsurrounded. This unit's still... Oh. Right, this guy's bracketed. Is that a concern? No, he's still surrounded by these 2. Anyway, and he's not leaving supply traceable to anything by moving. Yeah, so I don't think he's doing anything wrong. So he's going to follow, I say he can't follow the primary arrow, but the second arrow goes here. So that's 1, 2 breaking zone of control. And then, okay, seems a bit odd going there for 3 when he could go there for 3 following the secondary arrow, but my thinking is always follow the primary arrow if you can, unless you can get more movement out of the secondary arrow, and until, again, somebody tells me different, that's how I'm going to do it. So that's 1, 2, and then 3 into there. And then he can extend his move, because he's not adjacent to an allied unit. So what did I say? 1, 2, 3. So, and because he's infantry, he can move another 2 hexes. So 1 and then 2 across. That's a primary arrow across there, yeah. Across there. So I think that's where he goes. Maybe he's starting to head a bit more west, but he's moving away from his buddies. I don't know. Looks a lot odd again, but don't think I'm doing anything wrong. So, okay, so moving on to unit number 6. Now, he can't move the arrows. Now, yes, he could move. Well, actually, could he? Well, you know what, he can't, because he's going to be, if he is able, if that is closer to his army objective, which I'm not so sure it is, he's then allowing this guy's not surrounded anymore, because of this bracketed unit. Well, and this hex here. So he's not going to do that. He can't infiltrate, and he's already adjacent to an allied unit, so he stays put as well. So the last one to consider is the armoured unit, number 8. He cannot move via arrows, and they're tied up because they'd be moving from zone of control to zone of control, so it's difficult to move. I don't think he can get closer to his army objective. No, he can't get closer. He can't infiltrate, and he's already adjacent to an allied unit. So I think that's it. My worry now is that unit moving away means that they might not attack this hex, because I've just moved 3 strength away from it, and I'd rather that combat went ahead and used the assault coordination from that 47th division card. Okay. Right, well, that's all the movements. So we've got two possible combats to consider, but this is one against 3. He's in a forest for 4. He's in low supply, so there's 1 against 3. So that's not happening. Right, so this one is 7 coming across the river. Oh, hold on, stop, Grant. Let's rewind. Well, actually, this is one I need to consider first enemy, isn't it? Yeah. because this is selector number 2. I just forgot, assault coordination is in the support card box, and look at what we've got right round about this unit. Yeah, so that might happen. I'm actually thinking, like I say, I feel it's more a positive to be using that, because it means the aware units are going to move further west. Okay, so we do need to consider this one first though, because he would be the lead unit. He's the lowest selector number. So 7 across the river is only 3, and then another 3. So it's 6 against 3, which is 2 to 1. But we've no reserve units, by the way. Yeah, there's no reserves. We do have assault coordination, but it doesn't help there. Obviously, it would help if we're considering that battle. Excuse me. So what did I say? 2 to 1. Well, sorry, it's 6 against 3. He's not adjacent supply. Do you know that? So he is out of supply. So that's going to reduce to 2. So that's 6 against 2. So the odds are 3 to 1, and that's what we're going to roll on. Okay. Just about get that in there. So 3 to 1, and now is there any modifiers? There's no elites. Support card shows applicable combat tactic. Well, that in my eyes is still a yes, it is. And I know that because it was John Butterfield that replied and said that it is an applicable combat tactic, even if all the units are active round about this unit. If it's not bringing any other units, it doesn't matter, it's going to reduce a German hit. So it is applicable. So there's a -1 to this roll at 3 to 1 odds, okay. Ooh, 8, right. So it's only a 7. Cancel if less than 3 to 1, or attacking from 1 hex. Well, no, they're attacking from 3 hexes, and they had 3 to 1. That's right, innit? I had 7, I had 3, 6. I had 6 against 3, but this got reduced because it was out of supply. No other modifiers. 6 against 2, 3 to 1. Yeah, so it's going to go ahead. Okay. Right, interesting. Okay, just wondering. I think this might have been worse for us. It looks like this one would have definitely went ahead with the assault coordination. But okay, so this is going ahead. What are we doing? Right, these guys are attacking. And we are drawing a combat tactic for them. Yes, we are. Okay, army group card. Right, so we need to pause for a minute and bring all the... That's happened quite early in the day, isn't it? Oh dear. So there's 2... Sorry, can you see them? Yeah, just... Yeah, you've got 2 from the 67 Corps, and 1 is an armoured unit. 1 is just a mechanised unit, but... And then we've got the 2nd SS. So... down. That's the unit on its own, isn't it? Yeah. So... That's them ready for action. And we also shuffle in... Let me just I'll bring up the rule just to double check. Yeah, so we bring the reserves down from the current and the previous days. I think that previous days bit is always only going to happen on the 17th, bringing the 16th unit in, because then every day after that it's going to be... And then we shuffle the cards in as well that are dated the 19th. So we have the 2 second SS cards, the primary for the core, primary and the supplemental. We also have, I do have a division card as well for the second SS, and we also have the third PG division. That's the red units from the 67. So I'll shuffle them into the deck and get that sorted. Okay, that's them shuffled in, and I've just realised, as I'm sure some of you would have noticed, that this is bringing artillery and assault coordination as the combat tactic. Obviously that means the support card is not going to be used for this combat anyway. But as I did point out, there is a chance that a combat might happen here if we're considering the assault coordination. Okay, so that's that. So what do we have? We have 6 against 3, so it's 2-1 odds, and 2-1 odds. We're obviously not using support card now because it is the same as this. It would be a waste. So 2-1 odds. Chip pools are only going to be 1, 2, 1 extra for that being a 4-step unit. That's 3. Artillery and assault coordination takes it to 5. So 5 chip pools, 2-1 odds. I think that's it. Now we are out of supplies, so we are not. There's a change to out of supply, isn't there? What is it again? Do they get an extra chip pool or? So we can't play a combat tactic. If mechanised, we can move only 1 hex. That's not applicable, right? Yeah. So if the defender is out of supply, the attackers may draw 1 extra combat chit and may disregard 1 attacker hit. So they're going to pull 6 chits, and they've got a disregard 1 hit from the out of supply situation, and they're also going to get a disregard. They can ignore 1 hit from the assault coordination as well. So it's unlikely we're going to hurt them. Okay, and we are in a town. We're just normal infantry, but we're out of supply, so no unit adjacent. Yeah. Okay, I'll get the 6 chits. Okay, there we go. That was the second chit we pulled. It was City Forest on the other side, but it is a broken hex, so that was a D1. Not a large attack, they're just short of it with 6 chits. And then all these just didn't work for them, just too low odds. Less than 2-1 would have been an A hit. All in the back, I think this is 8-1 and this is 9-1 or something on the front. And these are both 3-1, greater than or equal to 3-1. They're just outside that with a 2-1. So only 1 hit, and we're in a town, so nothing doing. So yeah, no hits at all. So we got away with that one. Again, it's probably a situation where we wouldn't have minded a retreat. Admittedly, a retreat takes a step off of us, but then it puts us in a position where we can then maybe trade supply. So I think possibly if we do want to get this guy back, maybe have to look for that air power event and air supply that unit. But he can't move anyway, so. But then he's eventually going to become isolated, and that's then going to be a lot worse. So, however, okay, so that's army group card used up for its combat tactic again. So we never got to use that again, so it's quite good. So we do still need to consider this other possible attack. See if we can get that support card used up. So we'll have a look. Okay, just while I'm down here, notice there's a detachment, and they can't be placed on map edge hexes or hexes adjacent. And I'm pretty sure I said I would make the mistake. I've already made the mistake before, but that shouldn't be there. Okay, so this is going to be the lead unit, and so he's no, sorry, rewind, get carried away with myself there. This is the lead unit. So is this a consideration? And we counted out before, but we've got to remember that because it's assault coordination support card box, we are allowed to consider all adjacent units. So now we can say that this is going to be 4 across the river, so 2, then we can add another 8. 4, 4, 8, and 2, so it's 10 to 3. He's in a forest, 10 to 4. He's in low supply, 10 to 3. So I think that's going to stop there and make it 3 to 1 odds. Yes, indeed. So let me just get the camera up a wee bit again. So 3 to 1 odds. Modifiers. Well, again, the support card shows an applicable combat tactic clearly, or these units wouldn't be considered. So 3 to 1 odds with a -1. So it's the same as what we rolled before. And what was it? We rolled an 8 before, and it still went ahead. So, ooh, that's a 9. Right. Well, let's see. So a 9 gets reduced to an 8. It's just cancel if less than 3 to 1. So it's not, it's 3 to 1. So we are going to go ahead with this. Okay. So going to draw a combat tactic, and we kind of don't want an assault coordination this time. So here we go. Right, reinforced battle. Well, yeah, that might actually happen. Because there is, just off camera, there is these units down here that could, yeah. I think there's 2. Oh no, there's just the 1. Maybe not then, because he'd be leaving the town. Yeah, possibly not. Yeah, because he's going to leave that. He's going to leave Allied supply traceable this town if he goes and reinforce, and he's the only unit that could reinforce. So I'm pretty sure that's right. Hold on here though. Excuse me. Yeah, we haven't played assault coordination yet, have we? So his reinforced the battle could be looking at these units that are adjacent. Really, shouldn't they? I mean, technically that's how it should be. We all know they're going to join the fight. Because the assault coordination is going to get played now. So is it a bit daft to consider? I mean, they can't move to another hex to reinforce, can they? No. Okay, I think I can just ignore that, because I think what would happen is this guy would reinforce the battle. Right, sorry, hang on. This guy is actually attacking now, because the attack's going ahead. We've brought this card out, reinforced battle. Now, that's the lowest selector number, but see, I don't think I need to look at this. I think I'm just wasting time here, really, Grant. Select 1 active or inactive stack. Well, you know, at the moment these are inactive. They're in the same army. Choose a stack that will not be attacking across the river, so we wouldn't choose this one. And the stat with the lowest numbered unit. So in actual fact, I think if we're playing it by the rules, I think this unit would now reinforce the battle. Because he's the lowest selector number. And then we then look at the support card. and say, is it applicable? And we say, well, yes it is, because it's assault coordination. And that then means that these other 3 units join in the combat. And it also means that if we do hit him, the Germans can ignore 1 hit because of the assault coordination. Yeah, so I think that's right. So odds are going to be, well, that's 4, coming across the river's 2, and that's 10. So it is 10 to 3, so it is 3 to 1 odds. And chip pools are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 for the 3-step unit 6, and 2 for the combat tactics is 8. So this is quite a, yeah, I did think this would be a better fight for them. So, oops, yeah, 3 to 1 odds, 8 chip pools. Again, we're in the low supply this time, so cannot play a combat tactic even if we wanted to. So I'll go and get 8 chits. Okay, there's the 8 chits. I don't think there's not anything doing again. We've got pretty lucky here. Some of the ones that didn't apply only attack or armour. We've both got armour. Flank attack, it's a town. This was 4 to 1 or less than 3 to 1 on the back. It was 3 to 1. Defender weight is not. It's not the 5th Panzer Army. This is a forest. He is he is unsupplied, so that applies. And then it's a town, so that was a good one to get. I don't think it's going to add up to nothing, so that cancels that out. That cancels that. Yeah, there's nothing happening at all, is there? Yeah, so 2 pretty good attacks, but again, would we have liked to seen this guy retreat into here and then he would enabled to trace supply? I mean, the thing is with that guy, we could move in. No, we really need him there though, don't we? Or we need to move a unit there and a unit there. That looks a little bit of a mess, really, isn't it? Okay, well, at least the attack. Well, these guys down the south, again, when you're playing as the Germans, I think if I play the Germans solo again, I'll possibly just ignore the south area completely. I think that would be a strategy that quite a lot of you probably take on. You can't completely ignore the north because you've got the 1st SS up there, but as for the 67th Corps guys up in the north, I don't think they really come into the. Well, that's them now got their 2 armour unit and mechanised unit and the reserve units both, so probably then you can think about doing something with them. And as you notice, the Allies are all in low supply. So, but down the south, I don't know. It's probably an area just to leave your units defending there and not do anything. Okay, that's the combat's done. There's nothing else to consider. We did get rid of the support car, so that's a plus. The Panzer, 2nd Panzer and Panzer Wehr units are not getting to have an activation, which I'm happy about. So I think that's going to be that, isn't it? I don't think there's anything else can happen. All the units done something in the 85th Corps. There's nothing dispersed. So yeah, that's going to be the impulse over. Right. Okay, I'm going to tidy things up here and I'll cut this video because as usual I'm obviously blathering too much. So I'll cut this and I'll get back with an allied impulse soon, guys. Okay, cheers. Hi all. Right, on to the next allied impulse, and unfortunately we're only going to be able to deploy these not move them. We don't have a card, but I'm thinking, I've got any 1 unit move of the day, so I might be able to move one of them if I really need to. Obviously this is concerning. It would have been even worse if the Lern second Panzer unit had activated again with a division card, but it's maybe not too bad there. But then you've seen they just crushed that unit in there, and it was an elite infantry unit, 3 strength elite infantry unit, and they just brushed it aside really. So I'm starting to think that Haviland with 2 strength elite infantry unit is probably a bit vulnerable. That's a point. I mean, I do have the 5th Corps card. Should I consider bringing... I could bring this unit down to support it, couldn't I? Is that not maybe a better idea, Grant? Because deploying the 8 Corps units, although there's 4 of them, they're all the same division, so I can do them strategically. They've got to be below this line. My thinking is Celis, probably, because that's going to be 5 away from that 2nd Panzer unit. So Celis, and the other, because there's 4 of them, they would have to go adjacent, so I think that hex would be alright as well. So yeah, hang on. Yeah, change of plan, methinks. Couple of reasons. I think that probably is a good idea to bring that unit down into there. This guy's in Ufi, isn't he? He's on his own there. That's 5 victory points as well. It's not so much threat up there, but... And then obviously the other move would be to get this unit 1, 2. Now, this is a bridge. I can see, yeah, it is a bridge. I don't know why I wasn't thinking that. It doesn't look like there's a sort of road going across, but I mean, they're city hexes, so I don't know. It doesn't look like there's a big white line crossing between the... maybe if we zoom in a little bit, we might see what we're talking about. The main road comes along there, and then it goes down there, and then it goes up there. It doesn't look like there's kind of a road going across, but then there does show a B with an arrow, and then it does look like look like a bridge. This one there, if there's slight error with the graphic, but I mean, a bridge has got to go across a road, hasn't it? Or a road has got to go across a bridge. Okay, I'm going to activate the 5th Corps and we'll just get on with this, right? So, I am going to move this unit 1, 2, and I think this is the better hex to be in. I know you need to take both these hexes to take Liege. Just this one is across the river, so if he happens to come in, thing is he could quite easily move along into there, couldn't he? Whereas if I stop it there, he's got to stop outside. But I'm pretty sure you need to take both the hexes to get the 10 victory points. I'm sure that question's been asked somewhere, because the 10 victory points is in this hex, but the whole city is obviously a bigger city. So just, if he moves along here, he's going to be attacking me. I'm still going to be in a city, but he's going to attack me not across a river. Whereas if I go into this hex, attack is going to be across the river. But it kind of annoys me that he can just move 1, 2, 3, 4 into there. I don't know if I like the idea of that. Sorry, I've maybe got some of that off camera as well. I'd zoomed right in, but yeah, I'm talking about the unit in Verviers, obviously going You know, if I put him there, he can move right into that hex. Does that matter? It does mean he's a hex closer to Liège. So you know what? I'm going to stop it there because he does get double the strength no matter what hex he's in, as far as I'm aware. Mind you, I don't know what I'm bringing in. Yeah, 7 core units come in tomorrow, and they're up that sort of way as well. So if there was concerns, I could probably put one of them. They're armoured units too. Bring one of them up there. I mean, I probably again want to keep them. As you can see, they're the brown sort of units, so they deploy. They deploy there north. Oh yeah, let's just go with that. Okay, so I think I am going to bring this unit down because this looks vulnerable. So I'm going to bring this 1, 2, 3 down into Havelange. Yeah, I couldn't get a unit along to support this guy anyway in Ufe. It does look like, I mean, if Ufe was to be threatened by the 47th, they would have to change their direction. They would have to go kind of back the way, so I don't think they're going to do that. I mean, some of these guys, once they've done away with Toipon, may well head to Ufe right enough, but it gives me a bit of time, I suppose. Okay, I think that's going to be the only 2 moves. So, yeah, I'm still swithering about where that should be, but we'll leave him there. And then this guy's, I think that's a wise move, putting this guy in Avalanche, because these guys do look like they want to come along. So we'll go with that. Okay, so that's the 5th core being activated this turn, and unfortunately I'm going to have to go and take a break now. But that's fine. We'll get back with a German impulse soon, guys. Okay, cheers. Hi all. Right, it's an extremely hot day today, so I've not only got the window open, I've got this cooler on my back. I did have it on accidentally in one of the last videos, and I said I was going to see how it was, but I don't think I noticed anything. I don't think it was terrible. Maybe just a bit of background drone, but so hopefully it's alright with you, but it's really hot, so probably shouldn't even be sitting here. Not long finished work though, so just chilling out. Right, we're going to move on to German impulse, that's right. Yeah, okay, so let's see what we get. Okay, a couple of division cards this time. So we don't have a primary. Both command values are 1, so I believe it's the lowest card, isn't it? So what do you know? It would be the 47th. So I imagine if they had activated that division card the last time, and then this would be them activating their infantry and the Führer brigade, which he's on the board now as well. So let me just double check. It is the lowest card. You think I'd remember all these things there, but command value, select the card with the lower ID number as the command card. Yeah, so this is 47, this is 60. So that's a command card. There is an event, commandos, but we're on to the 19th, so that is not going to apply, so it's going to sit there. And it is assault coordination as a combat tactic, so I need to keep that in mind. So, and then over here we're going to activate the 26 VG and the Führer Bigweight Brigade. Bigweight? It's probably wrong. So we're going to activate them, so there'll be, well, it tells you there's 3 infantry units and 1 armoured unit, and that's exactly what it is. We've not eliminated any any German units. I get the feeling I maybe had in the last. Maybe not. I don't know. Okay, let's move on. I'll move the camera around and we'll have a look where they are. Okay, so the 26th infantry units are. There's one there, and there's one just outside Toipont, and that's where the Fure Brigade is as well. Just outside Toipont. So we're going to activate them. There's no reserves. There's no roadblocks adjacent to any of them, and their army objective is still. Actually, is it? Yeah, it is. It's in Dinan. They're closing in there, but still not proximate because he has to come down through Celis to keep on the road anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is as far as he could get. So it's going to stay put just now. So let's have a look and see what they're going to do. I mean, 2 of them are adjacent to the victory points in Toipont. So it's unlikely they're going to move, and there's assault coordination in the support car box. So that could turn out to be an attack. Yeah, he's going to be the first unit to check as well. Selector number 7. So that could be what's going to happen. Right, I'll have a look though, and just in case something else crops up. Okay, first move's going to be method 2, move to hex with closer to units army objective and adjacent to ally VP hex and this infantry unit. All the other units are adjacent to VP hexes, but he can go 1, 2, and he could go there or there, but as we know, he's wanting to go the empty hex. So that's adjacent to Bastogne. He's going to leave a detachment there. I can't believe he would be. Right, hang on though. Is he? No, because supply is actually traceable to here, to Waltz, isn't it? Zooming back out there again. Ally supply was already traceable to Waltz. It has been all that time, but nothing else has changed. Funny enough, if this unit hadn't been here though, ally supply would be traceable right up to St. Vith. So if he moved away, but I think it's got to come down that road. Yeah. So he can't come down this road and get into this hex because there's this 85th Corps units there. So yeah, I think that's okay. So we'll see what the other guys might be able to do. That could possibly be all the movement. Yeah, I was thinking none of the units were going to move because they're all adjacent to VP towns. And remember the restriction: do not move a unit starting adjacent to VP hex, occupied by allied units with strength 5 or less. Well, we know that a unit moved away from this last time because this has got a strength of 12, so the restriction doesn't apply here. So I did think this up. I mean, I think the other units up, say, Toipont, they're going to have to abide by that restriction, so I very much doubt they're going to do anything. Up to now, they're not. But I've came down to movement method 9, so the infantry moves, which is the new one that appeared on the 18th, which is relieve a detachment. It says move active infantry units, each to a hex with a German detachment marker, to which an allied unit is proximate and to which German supply can be traced. Stop there and remove the marker. If proximate to more than one marker, move to a marker adjacent to an allied unit, if any. I'm pretty sure that is going to be the case, yeah? This detachment here, he can move to it, he can go 1, 2, breaking zone of control, 3 back into there. And as an allied unit proximate to this armoured unit can go 1, 2, breaking zone of control, and 3 back into the woods. That's right, isn't it? So 1, 2, 3. I'm saying that they can't move in. I think the proximate to a German detachment must be adjacent to it because you can't move into a detachment. So it's actually, it's already a, oh, hang on. Give me a sec, maybe I'm reading something wrong here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, we've not really looked at this one much before, but I'm assuming to be proximate to a detachment, you must be treating it like a unit. So we are proximate to that because we're adjacent to it. So it's not that we need to actually be able to move into that hex, I don't think anyway, because you're not allowed to do that. So either way, it's proximate. If it does happen to mean that moving into the hex, it can though, can it? Proximate to a detachment marker. Yeah, I can only think proximate means getting adjacent. Well, we've already got units adjacent, and maybe the reason for this move is that if we activate any of the units, that detachment's going to get removed. So that's, I think, what that's meaning. I don't know. However, it does look to me like he can go 1, 2, and then 3 into there to relieve that detachment. It's the first time I've kind of done that, so by all means let me know if I'm getting something wrong with that one. But it looks like that's how it looks like to me, my reading of it. Okay, so that means he'll hang about by Bastogne, but these guys are probably not, well, they're not going to be making an attack. Okay, so I'll have a quick glance, but I don't think the other units are going to move. Yeah, none of these are going to move. This one would be breaking 2 restrictions like the last time. This guy's surrounded, so he would be making him not surrounded anymore, and he's also moving away from a victory point town with a strength of 5 or less. So this one, the only thing this unit could have done, he's allowed to move to a hex, another hex adjacent to the VP hex, if it's so, if for some reason he was able to move to here, closer to his army objective or something like that, he would make that move. But we've also then got to rewind to the tactical adjustments. Tactical adjustments would want him in an empty hex. So the only possible hex, I don't think that's going to be closer to his army objective anyway, but he can get away around there. But that's the only other, that's another empty hex that's coming across the river. So I think if he could get there, we could consider it, but he clearly can't. So it comes down to the last movement method, and they're already adjacent to an allied unit, so that's going to be that. They're not going to move. We're then going to go on to determine the attack. Well, this is a consideration first. The ones down in outside Bastogne are like 7 against 12, so that's not going to happen. But this is the one we should consider first anyway. So this is when the support card could come in at, because like I say, it could bring all the other units adjacent into this battle. So we want to do, just to double check anyway. So no reserves, but like we say, there is assault coordination support as a support card, so we can consider the strength of all these units. So this is 5. Oops, right, he was flipped. Okay, I'm making a mess. Both of them are flipped, sorry. So we had 5. We've got 3 there, 8, and then another 2 with this guy. So that's 10, 13. And then we've got 5 but coming across the river, so that's another 2. So it's 15 to 3. So 5 to 1 odds. He's in a forest. Sorry. What did I say? 15 to 3. He's in a forest, 15 to 4, but he's in some low supply, 15 to 3. So it is 5 to 1 odds, the determination. So that's above 4 to 1, so this is going to happen. Yeah. this is going to happen. So we're going to draw a combat tactic. As infantry infiltration, which isn't going to help him. It's going to give him a chip pool. He is then going to play the support card combat tactic, because obviously that is going to benefit things. Not only is it going to reduce a hit to himself, it's bringing in another 1, 2, 3 units, isn't it, into the combat. So that means these are all attacking, and we've got 5, 10, 13 and R2, so that's 15 to 3. That's 3, yeah. 15 to 3, so 5 to 1 odds. And chip pools we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units, 1 for a week 6, and 2 more for the 2 combat tactics is 8. So yeah, we had this the last time I managed to survive it, didn't we? It was something similar. So, and we're in low supply, so we're not getting the chance to play a combat tactic if we wanted to. So that's going to be that. So yeah, going to go and pull 8 chits. Okay, not good this time. Started brilliant with a forest chit as well, and then it just went downhill. We've got 2 dispersed on supply chits, 2 to 1 odds. This was, one of these were 71 on the other side, and that one was 61 on the other side, so they didn't apply. But I get the feeling we're in trouble. So 3 hits to us, none to them. We're in a town, so we soak up 1. We've then got to retreat and take a step loss. I think it's probably going to have to be that side, isn't it? A sec. Yeah, because we can't go out. We've got to go in the German zone of control, but we want to go in one that we can trace Allied supply from. And if we go across this side, we can't. But we can trace it from there into that detachment and into the road, and that takes us out, I think. I know there's a lot of things in the way here, but pretty sure that's right. So, and then that hit also has to incur a step loss because we're still in German zone of control. So, can we retreat into detachments? Give me a sec. Ah dear. Okay, we're in worse trouble than I thought then. I thought we were going to survive. It clearly looks like we're not, because we can't enter. It says a retreating Allied unit may enter and pass through a hex adjacent. May enter and pass through a hex adjacent to a detachment marker, but may not enter a hex occupied by a detachment marker. A retreating Allied unit may enter and pass through. Oh, I see what it's saying, yeah. So I could move like here, I could move past it. Whereas normally if you move adjacent to detachment as an Allied unit, you would have to stop. But it's saying you can still retreat, but you can't retreat into a detachment. It says, but may not enter a hex occupied by a detachment marker. So I believe we're dead, because we've got to satisfy 1 more hit. Now, can we have survived then? No, what we had 3 hits to take. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we had 3 hits to take, 1 for the town, so we had 2 hits. So yeah, if I just sat there and took the 2 hits, that eliminates me anyway. So I retreat 1, take a step loss, and then I can only retreat here. In fact, it would want me to retreat here. But because it's still a German zone of control, I have to take a step loss. Yeah, I believe that guy's gone. That was a shame. Although he got shoved out of 3 points anyway, which was the important part. We lost the victory points. That's also 2 more units in a limited units box, so I'm going to chuck them in the cup, knock their victory points up to 25, but that's going to get slightly higher in a second. Okay, that's all the hits done. Right, I'll clear stuff up and I'll look at advance after combat. You know what's happening here. Okay, so we've got to remember that the assault coordinated units don't advance after combat. So it's only going to be this guy and this guy that are considered. He's going to auto advance into there though, because it's a VP town. So, and there's no units already advanced. So he's going to move in there and then grab 5 victory points, right? So I'll put that up. That's them up to 30 now. That's scary. And I'm just going to see, is he going to move out again, right? So the arrows he's got in Toipon, or that's a 6, but only if the bridge is good. So that's not relevant. But I think what he's going to do is he's going to advance into there, grab the town, and then he's also then going to follow the secondary arrow for his second advance hex. And that's going to be an auto advance too. So that one doesn't look so odd this time because he's wanting to still consider moving on west, you know. What did I do with that? Oh, there it was there. Right, actually I'll not put the control marker in yet, just in... Well, actually, yeah, well, because the infantry is going to auto advance into the town as well. Which also makes some kind of sense. There we go. And then, like I say, he advanced in, and his second advance moved them back out again. Okay. Right, well, that could be it. That's all their units had an activation, done something. Like I say, this attack down here is 7 against 12, so and there's no reserves, no assault coordination. No, that would have helped that one. That's where they wanted the assault coordination up there, and it worked well. So yeah, all looked like it went to plan this time, I think. Whereas it not, we had the last time they used the assault coordination over here, didn't they? Whereas I was saying if it was yourself, you probably would have considered it there, but hell, that's how it goes. Okay, I think that's the impulse over. Don't think there's nobody else. They all done something, didn't they? So nobody can bounce back to reserves or anything like that. And we use the support card, so yeah, I think that's it. Just have a quick look there. Yeah, nothing's dispersed. No. Okay, I'll tidy things up, probably cut this one, and I'll be back with an allied impulse soon, guys. Okay, cheers.